These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, it's these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, it's these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Whenever I leave here, it hurts me so, with tears in my eyes, oh I hate to go. There ain't no work, and the kids need new clothes, the bills need paying, so off I must go.
These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they're home to me.
Where did it all go? The life I once had on the ocean's gentle road. My tears in my eyes and my head in my hands, away from my family, I hope they understand.
That is these rocky shores where I call home, it's where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Good evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include Lions 25th Anniversary Celebrations, RCMP are organizing a law enforcement torch run, Army Reserves visit Burgeo, local Sand and Sea Cabot 500 t-shirts, these stories plus community events, the BBS Playbill, Off the Rack, and more coming up after this.
Even though many types of blindness can be prevented, thousands of people lose their sight every year. The reason? They ignore the danger signs. Signs like blurred vision, eye pain, and excessive tearing. And then, before they know it, vision loss has set in. Don't be on a collision course with blindness. Learn the danger signs and protect your sight. A message brought to you by Lions Clubs International.
This past week, the Burgeo Lions Club celebrated 25 years of Lionism in our community. I spoke with two chartered members of the Burgeo Lions about some of their fondest memories of the club. I'm speaking with Doug Kendall and Rod Kosser, two chartered members of the Burgeo Lions Club. And by chartered members, we mean that you've been in the club for the past 25 years, right from day one.
Yes, Rod and I have been a member of the club for 25 years.
So how many other chartered members are there?
There's 4 other ones besides us. Hector Pollard, George Ball, Clyde Ingram, and Mark Allen.
Okay, so how many members were in the club the first year?
We were chartered with a membership, I believe, of 33 members, our original charter.
And how many current members are there in Burgeo Lions Club?
We've got a total of 53 members right now.
So how many members have there been in the Burgeo Lions Club over the years?
Since we started, there's been 190 members. That's how many have been joined since we started up.
Okay, over the past 25 years, the Lions Club has done a significant number of things for the community. What are some of the things that stand out in your minds?
That's a good question, Dave. There's so many of them, I guess, that if we had to name them all, but I guess one that comes to mind is first when we were chartered and a young club just getting organized and getting on our feet. We were looking at our town and see where the needs were and where we could help. And I guess one of the first things we did was there was a need in the hospital for screens around the hospital beds, and that was a project we took on. There was no such thing as a committee at that time. I think the old club was involved, and we went down and we did the work ourselves. And you know, that's starting off. But over the years, I think we've done a number of significant things within the municipality, within town. I mean, this building is a result of the Lions Club.
How long ago did you build this building, or was this building built?
This building, was completed in 1978?
Yeah,
77, 78, I think.
Okay, so this building's been here now for just about 20 years.
Just about 20 years. We started off as a club, I guess when we started off, we didn't have a building. We started off our first meeting. Incidentally, we were sponsored by the Lions Club of Port-aux-Basques. A group of Lions from Port-aux-Basques came to Burgeo to organize a Lions Club. And I guess they met with a number of people at that time. If I can remember, Norm Marsden and Carl Dolman was very instrumental. And they held a meeting at the United Church Hall. And I think there was probably 14 or 15 people attended that meeting. And they couldn't, there wasn't enough to get a charter anyway, but the people that attended that meeting went outside and recruited new members. And as a result of the recruitment, we got up to 33 members. That's how our club got started.
So how many members were you required to have to be chartered?
I'm not sure. Well, there's 13 on the board, so you've got to have, I think it's one more than your board director, so that will be, I'd say, probably 14 members. I'm not positive sure on that, but I think that's the figure.
Okay, so Rod, what stands out in your mind as some of the major accomplishments of the Lions Club?
Well, there's a lot of things in town that you can look back on, I think. Like Doug was saying, this place, and, you know, there's a playground, and the money we've spent on helping other people, say sick, you know, sick people traveling and stuff like that. There's also Max Sims Camp. That's one of our major projects in Newfoundland. And when you go outside Newfoundland, there you've got the seeing eye dogs and the hearing dogs and that sort of thing. That's Canadian. And then there's other international things that our funds and that go to as well. That all over, I guess, you know, worldwide things.
Okay, another major thing I guess the Lions Club has been doing for a number of years now, and every year when we tape it, we try to find out how many years it's been going on, and we always have trouble, and that's the Santa Claus Parade. Do you know how many years the Santa Claus Parade has been going?
We still got trouble there because I certainly don't know.
No, I wouldn't know what year we started that.
I know it's been going on for a long time. It's been going on long enough that I believe I was Santa Claus one year, and that's a long time ago.
Okay, I'd say we're safe to say probably 20 years or more.
Yes, I think so. Just shortly after the club was organized. I don't know if we started off with the actual Santa Claus parade. I think we used to have a Christmas party for the kids, didn't we, at first? And there wasn't actually any parade, but as we grew, I guess we started having parades after that.
I think it could be back in about 78 probably. It seemed like our first parade was sort of around this building. I can't remember either one that we had before we were up in this area.
Okay, are there any other things that really stand out? I guess the ambulance service, that was another.
Yes, that was you know, I guess we brought that in, and at the time, I believe Gordon was our president. I think Lloyd Elliott was instrumental, and Rod in his capacity at the hospital, and we did that on a volunteer basis, and I found that a very satisfying experience. It was all on a voluntary basis, and it was a very good fundraiser for the club also. We volunteered our services, of course, free of charge, and I found it good. I didn't appreciate a lot of mornings getting called at a bid though, 4:30, go to the ferry probably to pick up a patient from Ramya, or leave town in January and February, probably 11:30 or 12 o'clock in the night, not sure if you were going to reach Corner Brook.
But like most other members, I guess you went and you didn't complain.
Yes, yeah, we all went, and like we were divided up into volunteer groups, committees, and the way it was with an ambulance service, when they called for an ambulance, and in a lot of the cases it was needed right away, and there was no such thing as say, well, I can't go right now, I'll try to get somebody else. It was, you had to drop whatever you were doing and go. And I'm sure, Rod, you shared the same thing as I do in that regard.
So when did the Lions Club get the ambulance service on the go?
Can you remember, Rod, what year that was?
No.
We operated, I say, for about 12 years up until the time it was privatized, and the present private operator got it.
Okay, you've got a lot of things on display here at the Community Center. I guess there are a lot of plaques and things that have been awarded to the club and club members over the past 25 years.
Yes, basically, I guess it's a record of membership and Lion of the Year awards and a number of other awards.
We have won 4 or 5 different awards from the district, you know, second place, first place, third place, and different ones of that from in our district.
Okay, there are a couple of new plaques on the wall here as well. Can you tell us what those are?
Yeah, those. Yeah. No, those are the ones that we did up this year. To put the names of every member that's been in the Lions Club is on those plaques. We never ever had that there before.
No. So will these plaques be carried on now? I would say as a new member.
Yeah, as a new member joined, now their name will go on the plaque. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other things that stand out for you?
Like I said, there's no one thing that stands out, but for me personally, as being a member for 25 years, I guess I've enjoyed the fellowship of seeing members come into the club and you meet new people within the community. And I think there have been good fellowship in the club. And I think our club have been successful because of our membership. Now, that's not to say that we've had a 100% good members. Like any organization, that, you know, you have those that come not for what they can put into it, but probably for what they can get out of it. But the majority, I think, of the members that we've had over the years have got in the club because they had a desire to serve. And a lot of the members that got out of the club, they didn't get out, I don't think, because they didn't like the Lions Club. I know we've had a large turnover of membership, but they committed their time, and I guess they had other commitments, and they had other things that they wanted to do. But I've enjoyed the fellowship of the Lions Club, and I think we have been successful, not because of our membership mostly. And I would like to look at it not as the 25th anniversary of the Lions Club. I guess it's the 25th anniversary of the Lions Club, but I think it's the 25th anniversary of Lionism in Burgeo. And what I mean by Lionism is that the Lionists have played a very important and major role. And I think that they should be mentioned when it comes to our 25th anniversary, because I've always maintained the fact that a Lions member is only so good as the woman that he got behind him. And I feel that the women have done a tremendous job. And at one time, we also had a Leo Club, which was a part of Lionism. It was unfortunate that the young people couldn't continue on with that. And I guess in closing, I would add to say, my personal feeling is, our success has contributed to the people themselves. Because I think if you talk to any organization, whether it be the ACW or any other youth group, I don't know what it is when Newfoundlanders, but in a time of need or a time of crisis, or if there's a need in the community or you want to raise funds, it seems like that you go out and there's a tremendous response from the people. And I think we as Lions members have got to appreciate the people of Burgeo, because they've certainly supported us right from day one and right up to the 25 years that this club has been in existence. And we look forward for another 25 years of service. And maybe, you never know, I think it's the 500th anniversary of John Cabot. We're 475 years behind him, but maybe you won't be doing the interview, and I'm sure I won't be answering you, but I hope it continues on anyway.
Okay, Rod, is there anything?
No, I just carry on what Doug was saying. We're not one of the biggest places in Newfoundland, but we get the biggest Lions Club in Newfoundland. In fact, we've got the biggest club, I think, in Atlantic Canada. I know we have, yes, we have, yes. So that shows a lot, I think, for the Burgeo Club.
So, yeah, that speaks for itself.
Yeah, yeah. And another thing, when I just forgot a little earlier on there when he was asking about what would go on there, but another thing that really sticks out is the senior citizens parties. I think that's one of the things we get the most thanks for in Burgeo, is when we have those parties. The seniors come, well, upwards to 100 to each one, and they really appreciate, and we really get thanks for having those parties. So I'd like to thank all the seniors for coming. I hope we'll can keep on giving those parties as long as, until we're seniors, probably.
That's not much longer.
Okay, well, we'd like to thank the both of you for speaking with us today. We'd like to congratulate you on 25 years of service with the Lions Club.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Throughout the week, the Burgeo Lions have had displays at the community center. The community center was open to the public most afternoons throughout the week. A seniors card game and supper was held. The Lions played bingo with residents at the Calder Healthcare Center. The week clued up on Saturday night with the Lions' 25th Charter Night. A number of awards were presented at that time.
What we thought we would do is recognize the charter members that's with the club today. Okay, we do have charter members here tonight, but we do have some members that have stayed with the club from day one. And in appreciation of their service and their involvement over the town over the past 25 years, we want to, I'll present two, Stan present two, and Norma present two. Didn't know what that was, you know now. I'll call on, and we'll do it in alphabetical order, that way nobody gets pointed out. Lion George Ball. And Lion George, if you would stand, stay. The second one, Lion Rod Kosser. Our next one is not here tonight. Unfortunately, he's in the hospital. That's Lion Mark Donovan. Lion Clayton Ingram.
Okay, the next one will be Lion Douglas Cannell. You come forward, Doug, please. Okay, Lion Hector Pollard, you will come forward, please.
Does there anybody want to, I know it's running late, but if anybody wants to, again, as you can appreciate, charter members that's sitting down, as you can appreciate, these are the members that did stay with the club and they're still involved with the Virgin Lions Club. And again, we'd like to thank you as well for
As all past chartered members, we have decided collectively that we would dedicate our plaques tonight to our line marked on. Ladies and gentlemen, to mark.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have one more presentation to make. One of which is the hardest one, I guess, to really make a decision on, which is Lion of the Year Award. In my opinion, there are several lions here who is entitled to that Lion of the Year Award, as I spoke earlier in my speech. But the one I have chosen to be Lion of the Year, as far as I'm concerned, he has done a great deal for us this year. He's been chairman of the attendance and membership, chairman of Boy and Girl Committee. He looked after nominations, selection of officers for the incoming year. He attended the cadet meetings and kept the club well informed of cadets' progress. He chaired both seniors parties and acted as chairman of the Health and Welfare Committee while Dr. Mike was gone. Along with the committee, Boy and Girl Committee, he took part of our annual Santa Claus parade, but he wasn't Santa Claus. He helped out with winter carnival activities. He had an active role on the 25th anniversary committee, setting up things for open house and research Lions of the Year and board of directors for the past 25 years. And there's no doubt in my mind he put a tremendous amount of work into that. The member of the Life Pack Committee helped out with the poker run. He attended all board and regular meetings with input at most meetings. He helped me whenever possible. Whenever I had something, I had a problem, I called on him. He chaired one board meeting and one regular meeting while I was away. He attended Remembrance Day church service. He planned the first pub night at the hospital for the chronic care patients with the Health and Welfare Committee. And he attended bingo regularly and sold tickets for different projects. So my decision selection for the Lion of the Year is Ernest Green.
"30 students walked the stage at St. John Central High last Friday night, May 2nd, as they celebrated their high school graduation. Two very special awards were presented during the graduation ceremony.
The presentation that I'm about to make, I have to say it wasn't easy to get this job tonight. It's the Governor General's academic commitment. That's presented by the Governor General, but of course he couldn't make it tonight. John Critchan couldn't make it because he's on the campaign trail. Roger Simmons is attending another graduation somewhere. And Bill Ramsey, the MHA, he's attending a graduation in Port West. So he came on down the line, so here I am. Anyway, the bronze medal is an award for academic excellence to the secondary school student who achieves the highest academic standing in the graduating class. It's a very prestigious award, and the winner should be very proud. This year, the winner in the graduating class of 1997. Oh, by the way, it's a nice bronze medal. And you get a certificate as well. And the winner this year is Wesley Green.
This is usually the story I tell in the classroom. I've been teaching 29 years, and I don't regret a minute of it. But it's the only opportunity I've ever had in all of the students that I've taught to get a student who's had the fortitude and the determination to make sure that they did not miss one day of school. If I remember correctly, last year she was trotting around the corridor with rollers in her hair so that she wouldn't have to stay home before she went to the graduation. Isn't that right, Ms. Pink? That's right. So it's with great pleasure that I present, on behalf of the school, this plaque to Tammy Courtney for perfect attendance. Tammy, on behalf of the school.
6 Army trucks and a military van caused many heads to turn on Monday of this past week. The Army trucks were driven by members of the reserves who are currently on a driver training course. The trucks started out in Corner Brook on Monday morning and drove to Burgeo. This is the first trip in their 10-day course. One of the officers informed me that driving to various communities around the province gives the reserves a feel of what it is like to drive the Army vehicles, and it also gives them a chance to visit communities around the province, like Burgeo. The trucks rolled into Burgeo around 12:45 p.m., and after having their lunch near Foodland, they headed back to Corner Brook. Tiffany Symes and Kayla Krant are no strangers to the Janeway. At last year's Janeway Telethon, they made a pledge of $1,580, and they're busy fundraising a game for this year's Janeway Telethon. This year's Janeway Telethon is scheduled for May 31st and June 1st. On Monday, Kayla, Tiffany, and some of their friends held a walk in aid of the Janeway. This walk realized over $700. To date, the girls have close to $1,000 raised for this year's Janeway Telethon. Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up in just a moment.
They're not hip or modern, fancy or fashionable. They no longer fit your prescription or your style. But for one person living in a developing country, these used eyeglasses will put the world in focus, maybe for the very first time. Don't throw away someone's chance for a clearer tomorrow. Donate your used eyeglasses.
The local Sand and Sea Cabot 500 committee have received their t-shirts with the logo designed by Burgeo resident Mr. Sam Collier. For designing the logo, Mr. Collier was presented with the t-shirt.
Sam, on behalf of the Cabot 500 Sand and Sea committee, I'd like to first thank you for this beautiful logo and present you with your Sand and Sea t-shirt.
Well, thank you very kindly. Very much appreciated.
The Sand and Sea Cabot 500 t-shirts can be purchased by calling Paulette Marsden at 886-2830. The Burgeo RCMP received their new police boat on Thursday of this past week. The boat was launched on Saturday morning.
How's that, Wayne? Back to the end. Fire. Well, I always don't want to get the rim brakes in. I can leave myself a bit of space to give her a jolt if I need to. Okay.
This RCMP boat will be stationed here in Burgeo. For next week's program, we will take a tour inside the boat and go for a ride. Constable Mike McAlpine of the local RCMP is trying to organize a torch run here in Burgeo in aid of the Special Olympics. I spoke with Constable McAlpine about the relay.
Okay, good evening, Burgeo residents. With your assistance, I would like to organize and coordinate the 1997 Newfoundland Labrador Special Olympics Law Enforcement Torch Run here in Burgeo. This will be the first year for Burgeo residents to participate in this very worthwhile event. Special Olympics is a sport, fitness, and recreation program for people with a mental handicap. It is a charitable organization which offers year-round programs as well as national, provincial, and international competitions. Official sports include bowling, swimming, track and field, soccer, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, alpine skiing, speed and figure skating, floor hockey, powerlifting, and rhythmic gymnastics. The purpose of Special Olympics is to offer people who are mentally handicapped an opportunity to take part in fitness, recreation, and sport programs. It provides a setting for the development of physical, emotional, and social skills, and also enhances self-image through sports. Newfoundland Labrador Special Olympics first started back in 1985 with only a board of directors. In 1986, they had 4 athletes and 2 volunteers. In 1995, they had nearly 400 athletes and 300 volunteers. It has certainly grown into a very popular province-wide awareness program fundraiser since its beginning. It is hoped that enough interest will be expressed by Burgeo residents who enjoy running or walking to participate in this year's torch run. The province-wide start date of this year's torch run is June 6 and will begin in Port-aux-Basques. Although this event is named Torch Run, I do not expect all or any participants to run. St. John's will be gathering a group of individuals who will run at certain areas across the island to cover the Trans-Canada Highway. It is hoped that we could cover the entire Burgeo Road as far as the Trans-Canada Highway. To do this is actually not too difficult. We would require approximately 30 volunteers or a lot more if possible. They would be people who would enjoy walking and are willing to participate in this worthwhile cause. To actually cover the 150-kilometer distance from start to finish, we hope to get 30 or more volunteers and to break this number into pairs of 2 walkers. Should there be more volunteers, we could cut the distance down, but we like to keep them in pairs of 2 or 3 or whatever you're comfortable with, or whoever you're comfortable with. Each pair of walkers would agree to walk 10 kilometers at a designated start-finish area on the Burgeo Road. A bus or van would drive the walkers to their points where they would start their walk. If planned right, as the last walkers to their points where they would, if planned right, as the last walkers got to their points, they would be done their walk and ready to be picked up by the van or the bus. The entire distance of the Burgeo Road would be covered fairly quickly this way. The more volunteers would cut the distance to walk down or allow more persons to walk together as company, as I said before. It is hoped that Burgeo's participation in this event would take place on Sunday, either the 1st of June or the 8th of June, with a few persons probably running from the town hall to the Foodland store, where everyone would meet and disperse via a van or the bus up the road to the designated drop-off points. Anyone participating in this year's torch run will receive a runner's t-shirt, which is different from the existing t-shirt for the torch run. Anybody willing to obtain pledges will receive a law enforcement torch run cap for $50 raised, a polo shirt for $300 raised, sneakers for $400 raised, a tracksuit for $500 raised, and finally, all the mentioned items for $1,000 raised. Anybody interested, please give your name and phone number to anyone at the Burgeo RCMP detachment here, anybody at BBS, or give it to Pam at Pam's Beauty Salon. Any ideas or suggestions towards making this event more interesting or fun, please contact myself, Constable McAlpine, at Burgeo RCMP Detachment, 886-2241. I'd be more than glad to take any assistance or suggestions to make this go a lot easier. Thank you on behalf of all Special Olympians throughout Newfoundland and Labrador.
Members of the Guide movement here in Burgeo were giving away samples of iced tea last Saturday. In return for the samples, they were asking for donations in aid of the Janeway Telethon.
Why are you raising money here today?
We're raising money here today to support the Janeway. It's sponsored by Titley Tea, and all the Girl Guides across Newfoundland are doing this today.
Have you got a good response so far?
Yes, we have.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Stay with us for Off the Rack, community events, and the BBS Playbill. All that after this.
Last week, the Doucettes and the Grants went on vacation together. 2 weeks of fun in the jungles of Brazil. The Grants will be in for a surprise when they return. If you're like the Doucettes and don't like surprises, do what they did. Call the Insurance Bureau of Canada for a free guide to preventing burglary.
Off the rack. This week as we scanned our tape racks, we came across a videotape full of videos that we did over the years. Here's a video of scenery shots from around our community. We hope you enjoy it.
Mull of Kintyre, oh mist rolling in from the sea. My desire is always to be here, oh Mull of Kintyre. Far have I traveled, and much have I seen. Dark mist and mountains with valleys of green. Past faded desert, the sun sets on fire as you carry me home to the Mull of Kintyre. Mull of Kintyre, oh mist rolling in from the sea. My desire is always to be, oh Mull of Kintyre. Sweep through the heather like deer in the glen. Carry me back to the days I knew then. Nights when we sang like a heavenly choir of the life and the times of the Mull of Kintyre. Mull of Kintyre, oh mist rolling in from the sea. My desire is always to be, oh Mull of Kintyre. Miles in the sunshine and tears in the rain, 'twill take me back where my memories remain. Flickering embers grow higher and higher as they carry me back to the Mull of Kintyre. Mull of Kintyre, oh mist rolling in from the sea. My desire is always to be here, oh Mull of Kintyre.
Welcome to the community events segment of tonight's broadcast. I'm AJ Marks. The Burgeo Lioness will be having a TV bingo on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Cards are $1 each or 6 for $5 and are available at most stores around town. Tenders are invited and will be received up to 4 p.m. on Friday, May 23rd, 1997, for the collection of garbage in the town of Burgeo for a 3-year period from August the 1st, 1997 to July 31st in the year 2000. Tenders shall be submitted on forms provided by the Burgeo Town Council in a sealed envelope, clearly marked Tender for Garbage Collection, with name of bidder and address to Town of Burgeo, P.O. Box 220, Burgeo, Newfoundland, AON 1AO. Tender documents are available and may be obtained at the town office. The town does not bind itself to accept the lowest or any tender. The town of Burgeo has designated the weeks of May the 26th to May 31st and June the 16th to the 21st, 1997 as cleanup periods within the municipal boundaries. Trucks will be provided to pick up garbage placed along the sides of the street. It will be the responsibility of the property owners to have scrap vehicles moved to the dump site. The municipal dump will be open daily, except on Sundays during the cleanup periods. Residents requiring further information may contact the town office at 886-2250 or 886-2582 during regular office hours. This concludes the community event segment of tonight's broadcast. See you next week.
VBS Playbill. Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for a rebroadcast of Pansy's Garden. Try your luck on Wednesday by playing Lioness TV Bingo. Bingo will be followed by the Lion's 25th anniversary church service. Join us on Thursday at 7 p.m. for a rebroadcast of Telethon Entertainment Part 1. And of course, Marie, Melissa, and Pansy will be here again with a Craft and Stories Saturday morning, 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. Due to conflicting schedules and last week's telethon, we were unable to film the season finale of The Bandwagon for this week. But please stay tuned now for Telethon Entertainment Part 1. The season finale of The Bandwagon will air next Sunday. For This Week in Review, I'm Dave Cooper. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there, and good night.